Hey guys, I have an exciting video for you today because today I'm going to tell you about this book, Deadly Bribe. Now, you see the author Rudolf Krauss, but more importantly, look at my involvement. See, you guys call me Tom, but actually you can call me Dr. Tom. No, that's my official title, but I wrote the foreword to this book. Now, the way I got involved with this book was the author was doing research on a gun that he owned. It's a Fritz Sauckel presentation piece. He owned the gun, he was doing research for years, and he came across one of my videos. Here, check it out. This looks like a Fritz Sauckel presentation PP. And here's the reason he said that. First of all, let's take a look at Fritz Sauckel. He was the Department of Labor, basically in charge of slave labor throughout Germany during the war. He came into that role in 1942 and served through the end of the war and actually was executed. He was hung at the Nuremberg trials in 1946. Before he became the head of the slave labor department, he was actually the Gauleiter, or the group leader of the province where the Walther factory was located. And when he took on this new role sometime in around 1942, the Walther factory actually, in a presentation in the public square, they basically gave him the keys to the city or something equivalent to that, and they presented him with an engraved Walther. Now, this Walther actually sold some time ago in Germany. You can see how deeply engraved it is. It's a real special gun. In fact, the only ones that I've seen that are equivalent to this one was Hitler's gun, and Himmler's gun also had the same deep engraving. The condition of this gun, as you can see, has deteriorated quite a bit. Maybe it was hidden somewhere in a basement because you can see how badly it has deteriorated, but you get an idea of how beautiful it was. So this is documented to have been presented to Fritz during the war. And you can see on the back there's a swastika, and it's a similar style to the one that I picked up. I believe this gun sold in the neighborhood of about $40,000 at that time. So especially presented in our video on slave labor, we talk about the bribes that were paid and the gifts that were given. And so Fritz was actually known as giving out engraved Walther PPs in particular. He gave out somewhere between 5 and 10 fully engraved Walther PPs. Now, again, we have a video about Gottlob Berger, and we showed that he gave out Walther PPs with just an inscription on the top. But Fritz Sauckel gave out fully engraved guns like this one. And let me show you one that has sold on the internet. If you take a look, there was always a banner across the top. In this case, this was an SS officer whose name was Wilhelm Kepler. And underneath that banner is the signature, Fritz Sauckel. One other characteristic is you see ivory grips, and then a little disc, an oval disc with the name of the person that it was engraved to. So that leads me to why Joe and I believe that this is a Fritz Sauckel presentation. It is nickel-plated, nickel-plated with a gold wash, which I've said before, it literally washes off very easily. In fact, every time I handle it, it takes a little more off, so we don't want to handle it very much. And you can see that same ribbon across the top, and instead of Fritz Sauckel underneath it, there is the name of somebody, Karl Goetz or Goetz, has to be the name of either a German citizen who got the gun from the original recipient or from a GI who captured it and brought it home. I would say slam dunk, it had to be the GI, but in this case, the name is so German that I have to reserve the right to say it could have been a German citizen. But what he meticulously did is from the ribbon, you can see that he removed the inscription and he removed Fritz Sauckel's signature underneath. So very well done, very tastefully done, and he put his own name there instead. Who wouldn't? But it does hurt the value a little bit in that it's not in the original condition. So checking out this oval, we see the initials, which is pretty common with the Sauckel guns, that he would always have this oval and the initials of the person or the name of the person it was presented to. In this case, it could be Julius Schaub, who was an adjutant to Adolf Hitler. And that's just total speculation. There are other JSs it could be, but that is one possible candidate. The magazine is a gold wash, probably added later because it's in pristine condition, as opposed to the gun, which is less than pristine. And then you can see there's another magazine, same condition as the first. Maybe they're both original. I just can't say for sure. But then we see this white bottom. So when Rudolf Krauss actually watched that entire video, he was struck by the fact that I was confirming one of his theories, that these engraved guns were not given out to war heroes or Luftwaffe aces or people who had done wonderful things for the Third Reich, but rather they were generally bribes, gifts, and we've talked about that many times when we talked about the slave labor camps, and certainly Fritz Sauckel was somebody who was getting bribes and giving out gifts. That was part of the history of the Third Reich. And I talk about that in that video and other videos. In fact, I think the engraved Krieghoff, I talk about that Hermann Goering was giving out engraved guns as a form of a bribe or soliciting political favors. So that's what caused the author to get in touch with me and ask me to write the foreword and review this book. Now, it's not just a book about this particular gun, although this particular gun, and you can see it here, it has the classic Fritz Sauckel signature, and then also the little oval, which it has the initials WB. Now, we don't know exactly who WB was. He gives several possibilities and then kind of narrows down his theories down to one person. Not proof positive, but just theories as to who and when this was presented by Fritz Sauckel to a recipient that he wanted to influence. So as I said, it's not a book just about this gun, but there's a lot of other material in there. Some of it was actually new information for me. For example, there's a lot of information about the Rally Day and the Weimar Republic, but also the Gustav. I didn't know anything about this. Here's a picture, not real good, but the sinking of the Gustav. He gives the history of that, and that was actually sunk in the icy Baltic waters by a Russian submarine. And what the Russians knew was there was 1,000 trained U-boat sailors on that ship who all perished. Almost 10,000 troops were killed, including 1,000 trained U-boat sailors. So it was a dramatic loss for the Nazi Navy. I was really impressed with the book. I want to offer it to you guys. You can go to our YouTube store. You can see the link right here. Mere $20 to buy the book. Check it out. You might find it really interesting. Maybe buy it as a gift for family or friends. But let me show you one other engraved gun that I happen to have in the safe. Also probably a type of bribe or influence peddling. This is a gold engraved Walther PPK. So I always have to show you at least something new. So this is the red case, the original red case that they came in. If you watch my videos, you know they're very rare. It also has a cleaning rod, a little bit different than most of the cleaning rods because it has the zigzag. Let me set it down, you can see it better. It has the zigzag, what I call zigzag at the end. So it's a little bit fancier than your common cleaning rod. It does have the silver dummy rounds right here. That's pretty common. And then the gun itself, as I said, it's gold engraved. And I'll turn it this way. Otto Marenbach. I hope I'm saying that right. Otto Marenbach. And that happens to be his birthday in 1942. Now Otto, there's a picture of him here. He was a member of the Reichstag. So in other words, like a member of Parliament or a member of Congress. He was basically a politician. He is also a director in one of the labor unions there. And the man that presented it to him was Heinrich Simon. And Heinrich was also a politician, member of the Reichstag, and maybe was his boss or supervisor, but Heinrich Simon gave this to Otto Marenbach on his birthday in 1942. Now this would be a pretty expensive gift to give to somebody. Quick break, and I had to put on some white gloves because this gold wash, we don't want that to come off. These gloves are pretty dirty and beat up. Maybe if you buy a book, I can afford to buy a new pair of gloves, and certainly I need to do that. Let's pull this out and give you a closer look at the engraving You can see the style, it's oak leaf. There is that ribbon there that some of them have on a presentation. This is different because a lot of times the presentations were written across the top of the slide. This form of presentation on the grip is not unique. I have seen them before. Himmler gave some out that had like a little plate right there. The bottom of the magazine. This magazine has the same wear as the gun, so I believe the magazine is original. You can see that actually a gold engraved gun is nickeled or chromed with a gold wash over top, and you can see that really well on the magazine. It almost looks like a dual tone. And if I wear this down a bit, you'll see more and more of the nickel coming through. Let's take a look at the front strap. And bottom, I always find that to be intriguing to look at. This is in 7.65. A lot of them will have a presentation white grip or a carved wooden grip. This one, unusually, has just the standard brown mottled grip. There's the serial number, and this serial number is in the range of a group of factory engraved guns. So I know that this was ordered from the factory probably before 1942, because it took 6 months to a year to get these engraved. You do see the, well, there's an answer to that question. These are Crown N proofs, which ended in 1939. So this gun was actually made in 1939, probably pulled off the factory floor, maybe even engraved, and then when it was finally ordered in 1942, they probably finished the engraving at that time, engraved the magazine and got the custom gold engraved. He ordered the gold. Now, I mentioned before, this is just not a normal birthday gift. This would be equivalent to about $5,000 in terms of what he paid for this. And so why would a member of the Reichstag give a $5,000 gift to another member of the Reichstag? It could be they were very good friends. It could be that they were significant others, but more likely it was to influence maybe a vote or a pet project in the Reichstag that somebody wanted to get through. And so it was very common to give people a gift like this to peddle some influence. So this gun, while not given by Fritz Sauckel, it again illustrates that this happened fairly often in the Third Reich among the party officials, party leaders, and political leaders. We already know that Goering, Himmler, we've done a video about a Himmler presentation gun, a Goering presentation gun. Now we have Fritz Sauckel, and now we have Heinrich Simon. All to go along with this book, The Deadly Bribe. Basically, it describes the giving of gifts in order to peddle influence in the Third Reich. Well worth it. Go to our YouTube store, and you can order it right off the website there. And again, $20. If you're overseas, there'll be a little extra shipping, but we want to make sure we get it to you. Hey, thanks for watching. We have other book projects coming up I'm excited about, so stay tuned for more coming soon.